Wayne Madsen produced a stunning innings in difficult conditions to make sure that his Derbyshire side had the better of the opening day of their LV County Championship match with Leicestershire at Grace Road. Put in on a green pitch with plenty of assistance for the quick bowlers, the visitors lost Billy Godleman for a single in the fourth over of the match as Ben Rain won an LBW. Charlie Shrek was on in the 11th over and grabbed his 50th championship wicket of the season with his very first ball as Ben Slater chose the wrong delivery to leave alone. Then the big moment of the day. In the same over, Madsen edged a first-class debutant Rob Sayer, who spilled the chance in the slips to give the Derbyshire skipper a life on 11. Shrek, to his credit, put that behind him and found enough movement to find the edge of Tilakaratne Dilshan's bat. He caught by Angus Robson. That left the visitors on 38 for 3, Dilshan gone for 4, and in some trouble, but Madsen began to settle in to play a phenomenal innings given the circumstances. While most of his teammates struggled, he picked off any loose ball and made the most of them too. Derbyshire would have been pleased to have lost only 3 wickets in the morning, but the afternoon session soon saw Alex Hughes nick off to Clint Mackay after making 23. A 9th boundary off his 109th delivery had Madsen at his 50, one made out of a total of 103 for 4. He would have hoped to make the most of such a start, and there followed a moment of fortune which allowed him to do so. He was caught off a no ball, one given after the bowler Mark Cosgrove knocked off a bail in his delivery stride. Instead, Shrek had Wes Durston taken behind on 8 at 118 for 5. Madsen had been on 54 when he had his moment of luck, and he certainly made the most of it. At times it looked as if he was playing a different game to the rest of his team, and he rarely missed out on any opportunity to hit a boundary. At last he found someone to stick with him, and that came in the form of Shiv Thakur. Back at the ground where he made his name, the 21-year-old produced some sweet shots as he scored 41, made out of a stand for the 6th wicket of 71. His smart innings was ended by Sayer, who grabbed the first wicket of his career as Thakur went too far across his stumps to be LBW at 189 for 6. From there, Leicestershire would have fancied their chances of dismissing their opponents before too long, but Madsen held firm into the day's final session, and the 19th first-class 100 of the 31-year-old's career was made with this shot off Rain. Madsen had faced 203 deliveries, a stat in itself which emphasised just how tough things had been for him. He had struck 16 fours, however, in what was a tremendous effort from a man who was leading from the front. It was lovely to see, too, the applause from the fielding side, who appreciated his efforts. Leicestershire were probably sick of the sight of him by the end of the day, though. Madsen continued along on his merry way with some top shots, dominating a 7th wicket partnership of 60 with Harvey Hussain, whose contribution to that was just a dozen. It took a stunning catch off screen from Andrea Agathangalu to see the back of him, Mackay the successful bowler. But on and on went Madsen, and his 150 was completed before the close. He had now been at the crease for 86 overs and had seen off 251 deliveries. That was his 22nd boundary and one of his best. The lower order for Derbyshire should take credit for sticking with him. Tony Palladino stayed with him for 43 minutes in making his 7 runs, his innings coming to an end as he was LBW to Rain. Mark Foote may have dreamt of playing at Trent Bridge this week. Instead, left out of the final England team, he produced one of his better knocks with the bat, just to rub salt into Leicestershire's wounds. He struck a runner ball 21 before stumps were drawn. At the close, Derbyshire had managed to get to a total of 320 for 8, seemingly a big one, you would think, on this surface, and that was largely down to the magnificent Madsen, who will look to add more to his 164 not out when play resumes on the second morning. He has so far batted for 6 1/4 hours.